Hi everyone, it's Stacey Keller here. I am a one-to-one diet consultant and also the founder of Early Years Storybox. So today I'm going to talk about why I believe that we yo-yo up and down, up and down, up and down. So a bit of backstory, I was on a diet, 17 years. I was the girl that would go religiously to my meeting every week. I'd lose half a pound here, gain a pound, lose 2 pounds, gain a pound. Then I'd fall royally off the wagon, gain a stone. And, a couple of times in my life I'd got to go, but I'd never managed to stay there. And I've been up and down like a yo-yo. I lost count of how many times. And I found myself in a situation where I knew exactly what to do, know how to lose weight. We all know how to lose weight. But could I do it? I could not do it. And I found myself a large size 16, probably an 18 really, weighing 14 stone 3, whereas in my 20s I'd always been about 10 and a half stone. And I just didn't recognise myself and I just needed to sort myself out, and I found the one-to-one diet. And with my other business, Early Years Storybox, I do a lot of public speaking in the childcare sector about how belief systems and programming occurs in us, and then how that then silently guides us later in life. Now you'd think, wouldn't you, that if I do talks like this, that I would then take that advice and take that knowledge and apply it to my weight. But for whatever reason, I'd applied it to every other area in my life, like business and mindset and this, that and the other. But for whatever reason, I'd never applied it to my weight until I started the one-to-one diet. Now, the reason I believe that we yo-yo is you get a lot of health experts saying, you don't need to cut things out, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that, you just need to have moderation. And I completely agree. But the problem is that people like me, who are either literally eating a carrot stick or ramming a kebab in my face, we're not good with moderation. Moderation is not something that we are particularly great at. So I also know that it takes 66 days to break a habit. A lot of people think it takes less than that, but it doesn't. It takes about 66 days, if not more, I would say, to break a habit. So to break a habit, you have to not do that thing for that amount of time. Now, if you're good with moderation, amazing. You will have a few chips and you will stop because you are full. You won't carry on because they taste bloody delicious and you want to eat them all for the taste. You won't carry on because you're comfy and you feel rubbish and it makes you feel nice. You'll stop. We don't do that. So what I've realised is that actually you need to strip things back. When you struggle with moderation, in order to get moderation in your life, you need to strip everything back, take it away, and rebuild yourself slowly when you've reprogrammed yourself. And this is why the one-to-one diet has been so successful for me. I lost 3 stone in 13 weeks. I'm now at 3 stone 10-ish. And it's changed my life. Completely and utterly changed my life. I am the girl. My nickname was One for the Road because I never knew when to stop. I would honestly, I didn't know my limits. I would be the girl that was swinging from the chandelier and staying for one for the road. So the fact that I'm sat here now, I've not had a drink for about 5.5 months. Just the words coming out of my mouth, I can't really honestly believe it's true. But that isn't the shocking thing for me. The shocking thing is that I'm now where I want to be. And if you put a glass of wine in front of me, I'm not so sure that I'd drink it. How weird is that? But I'm not the girl that's never going to have a glass of wine. Of course I am. I'm going to go on date days with my husband, hopefully when the world goes back to normal. And I'm going to have wine then. There is nothing more no surer than that. But that thing that I had where I never needed convincing to have a bottle. You see, I was going to say glass then and I said bottle. So that's the truth. I would never need convincing to have a bottle of wine, ever. So, I would come up with an excuse. I'm literally in my caravan, by the way. I'm working in my caravan because we're in lockdown. I'm working in my caravan so that I can get away and concentrate. My poor husband's inside homeschooling, losing his absolute mind. Anyway, what were I saying? Bottle of wine. Yeah, I never need convincing. I could literally, in the past, someone could have come past and gone, oh, you haven't had your caravan long, should we have a glass of wine to celebrate? I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. So the fact that I'm sat here and going, do you know, I'm not that bothered. But that is because I have stripped it away from myself, long enough to look at my habits and my associations and to rebuild it. Because when I was drinking wine and eating the bad food, I was doing it for other reasons. And this is the thing, a lot of diets, they just focus on the food. They've started focusing on, I've seen like people start focusing on mindset, but it ain't just about mindset, it's about beliefs and associations. So I had a belief that food was a celebration. So if something good happened, I would celebrate with food. Ironically, I'd lose 2 pounds in the past. And that night on weigh night, I bet you all do this. That night on weigh night, I would celebrate with a takeaway. Why? You know, it made perfect sense to me back then. But now I'm like, interesting. You know, like you want to lose weight, you've lost weight, to celebrate, you're going to have the thing that put weight on in the first place. It doesn't make sense. When you look at it, it doesn't make sense. But at the time, it's because we've got associations. So for me, celebration was food and drink. For me, commiserating was food and drink. So because I felt so rubbish about myself, honestly, it's sad, but I hated what I saw in the mirror. I felt just so disappointed in myself. I thought, how have you let yourself get to this point? Because I felt so bad for myself. The thing I'd turned to, wine and food. So it just got worse. It was a cycle. I also saw it, so commiserating, celebrating, and rewards. Like I said, with go to your, do you know what I'm going to call it? You shouldn't call it fat club, should you? It's not very nice, but that's what me and my friends always used to call it. I'd go to fat club, I'd sit there and I'd be like, right, I've done amazing. I'm going to have a glass of wine to celebrate tonight because it's a loophole, because it's weighing night and all this stuff. It's hilarious. It's funny, but we've all done it. We've all done it. And if you've not done it, then you're amazing because you've broken it already. So the thing about your mind that you need to know is that up to 95% of your mind is subconscious. Now, that means that you are literally on autopilot. There's only 5% of the things that you do that you're in control of. And in your subconscious mind, there's all your belief systems and your programming that silently guides you. Now, this is great if you've got good programming. But if you're programmed to about simple things, I mean, it goes a lot deeper than that. You know, if you grew up consistently feeling not good enough, there's a good chance that you've got a belief that you're not good enough. And if you're programmed to be not good enough, then your subconscious mind is going to do everything it can to validate that, because the subconscious mind's main job is to keep you safe. Now, safe to you and me is to make really great choices, you know, not eat a kebab on a Tuesday just because. But safe to your subconscious mind is actually keeping you in alignment with your beliefs, because your beliefs, it's like a computer. You know, if you put a virus on a computer, it wouldn't stop and go, excuse me, this is a very dangerous virus and it's going to knacker everything in your computer. Your computer would go, oh, okay, this is what we've been programmed with. It's the same thing with your beliefs. But the problem with that is all these beliefs and associations that we learn and habits that we learn habits from our childhood. We learn these associations as time goes on. Society's pretty bad for like programming us with negative food associations. All these things are stored in our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind believes those things to be safe because that's our programming. So it does everything it can to keep you in alignment with it. Bearing in mind 95% of your brain is controlled by it. So your 5% of your brain's going, do not eat the kebab, mustn't eat the kebab. 95% of your brain's going, well, you're celebrating, have it. Or if you've got programming that you're not good enough, because what our brains get programmed with repetition. So whatever you experience on a consistent basis growing up will form little belief systems, good and bad, and then they're like little energetic jigsaw pieces that will fit things. So like if you've got a not good enough belief system, that jigsaw piece, the only thing that will fit that are things that validate. So you might find yourself around critical people. You might find yourself in situations where you feel not good enough, even if the circumstances around you, someone might be stood next to you. You might both walk into a room. One person might see someone and think, oh my God, they're really inspiring. Look at them. They're commanding a room. They're dominating a room. They're commanding an audience. Another person might walk in with a not good enough belief, walk in, see that person and feel really inadequate. And it's because your belief systems govern how you view the world. So what we have to do is we have to get in there and we have to reframe those belief systems. It's very hard to reframe something, bearing in mind consistency and repetition brain reframes things. It is very, very hard to reframe something when you are still doing it. So, you know, that bottle of wine, that wine is associated with me, for me, was associated with reward, commiserating, celebrating. Now, that wine is a trigger for me in that respect. It triggers that belief. So in order for me to reframe that belief, I have to eliminate that completely, work on that belief, take it away from myself, reframe it, and then reintroduce it afterwards when that belief is gone, which I'm at the position now where, you know, I see a glass of wine and I don't think about celebrating. If I, you know, lose a pound, I think, my gosh, I'm going to go, like, get my card. I'm going to go and buy a new outfit. Whereas before, the first thing would be like, oh, I'm going to have to have a glass of wine to celebrate. So this is why the diets that I have done in the past haven't worked for me long term. They've worked because, of course, they work. You know, they work to lose weight. But the end goal for us is not just to lose weight. The end goal is to have balance. Now, if you want balance, you're not going to get it by not stripping things back. And this is something that I've learned the hard way. I decided to do one-to-one diet. I decided to commit to it because I felt so bad. I were ready. I were ready to let go of the old life, whatever that meant. In the sense of, you know, my friends could, well, luckily we're in a lockdown because I hadn't had that problem, but my friends could have been like, come on, we're going out. I would have said no. I got to the point where I was ready to walk away because in my mind I thought for 12 weeks, it took me 13, 12 weeks I can walk away from anything if it means that I sort my life out. And you know what? Then when you get to your 12th week and you've lost around 3 stone, you feel amazing and you're ready then to continue. And I say to all my clients that have just come on board, I've just literally become a consultant myself, I say to all my clients, your goal is not your goal weight. Your goal, that's your physical goal. Your goal is to live a balanced life. Because what happens is there's steps. So it's a meal replacement diet is 1-to-1 and you go through the steps right up to step 6. And step 6 is then that you have a healthy, balanced diet. So you reintroduce things and you slowly build yourself up. What people do is they get to the goal weight, feel sensational, think, oh, I'm going to save a bit of money. I don't need to do this. I can do it myself. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Big mistake, because the goal weight, that makes you feel amazing. It's basically the start of your journey, because that is when you start reprogramming yourself for balance. That is when you build yourself up slowly and you start learning about your body, learning about what works, and then you get to step 6 and you are in a position then where if you want to take away a bottle of wine on a Saturday, crack on, you can do it. But you're not doing it because you feel you need it for your fun. You're not doing it because you feel you need to celebrate. You're doing it because you want to do it. And you know what? The next day, you don't need to do hair at dog because you've broken that association too. So you get straight back on it and you have your healthy diet because you're choosing to do it and you're programmed to do it. Not because you're forcing yourself kicking and screaming to have that, you know, healthy meal when all you want is a kebab to soak up the hangover from the night before. So that's my little take on it. I were only meant to do a 5-minute video. As usual, I've been waffling on, but I hope that helps and kind of explains a little bit of why we are how we are. It is not your fault. You are being governed by this these silent beliefs that are stored in our subconscious mind, you know, and the 5% of your brain that knows what to do is fighting against 95% of your brain that's in charge. And that part of your brain, you haven't got a clue what's going on in it. So, you know, cut yourself some slack. If you want, get in touch. I've got a few spaces left available at the minute. I don't know how long they're going to last because people are just amazing and they've got in touch with me and asked me to work with them. But just get in touch. You don't have to work with me. Just get in touch. Find me on social media. I am Stacey Kelly. And just give us a message. Let me know how you're doing. And if you want to work with me, just send me a message too and we'll see what we can do. I'm sure that you will find it in you to move forward if that's what you want to do. You've just got to find the plan that works for you, and all I can say is that 1-to-1 has changed my life completely. So take care. Give us a like if you like this video, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel because I'll be adding more videos as we go along. Take care. Bye.